All right, I'm going to make a mini of me or the multiplicity, and I'm gonna just start by making a new file, and whatever the default is and hitting create is gonna be okay. To open the files, we can open them all at once and going to file, heading down to scripts, and then we want load files into a stack. Click on there, and you want to upload files, and we're gonna go to browse. And I've saved mine into a folder. You might have to search through on the left-hand side and find where you've saved your images to. I'm going to click and drag so I can select them all at once and say OK. Load them up into here. We'll say OK again. And it's going to put them into their own individual layers. You can see me starting to show up there. So they all have their individual layers, and I can turn them off and on to see the different ones that are going to show up in there. We can double click on the hand to fill the frame with what we got here. And I think it's easiest to start from the bottom. So I'm going to turn off the visibility on all except the last two layers. And actually, I'm going to move one around. I'm going to move this one down. Okay. I'm going to turn the visibility off on all but the last two layers. And I'm going to mask away on this layer to show what's underneath it here. So first, I'm going to add my layer mask, clicking right here on the icon that says Add Layer Mask. And it adds that extra little white rectangle to your layer. Next, I need to make sure that black is in front over here. So there's the little tiny arrows right here. I can switch. I want black to be in front. And then I'm going to get my paintbrush. And you want to make sure it's the brush tool. There's other things that look like the brush tool that are not the brush tool. So clicking on there. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the size of it. I'm going to make it a large size brush. And then I'm going to turn the hardness level up. On a lot of things we've done, we've had the hardness level low. I'm going to turn that up and make a nice crisp edge on it. Then when I click out here and I start to mask away, it's going to show through to the layer underneath it. So it's just showing through to the layer down here. And I'm going to head up to the next layer. So I'll turn the visibility on the next layer. It covers up what we did before. I need to select that layer, and then I need to add the layer mask again. Clicking here, making sure it shows up here. And you do want to make sure you're working in this part of the layer. You can select this part of the layer, and that will not do what you're looking for. You want to select this part of the layer, and I can mask out where I was before, and I can mask through to show the other one as well. So since this has some overlapping, there's going to be some extra detail work that I'll need to do of zooming in there. Try to do it quickly for the video here, but I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to go back to my brush, and I'm going to make it a lot smaller. I can change the size up here, but what I'm doing is I'm using the bracket keys on the keyboard as a shortcut, and I'm just hitting the right bracket to make the brush size bigger, and the left one to make it smaller. And if I was doing this project for real, I would zoom in, and this is probably where I would change the hardness level on the brush to really try to get in there and get the details of it. But since I'm trying to go fast for a video here, I'm not going to do that. And make it a little bit bigger. Getting close. Okay. I'll double click the hand to go back to full size. And if I want, I could have that hand show up coming on the outside of the one that's blocking it right now. Maybe I'll do that instead. So I'm going to get the brush tool, and I'm going to have the hand come through. There. Okay. And we're on to the next layer. We turn the visibility on, select that layer, add the layer mask, make sure black is in front, get our brush, make it a whole bunch bigger, and have the other one show up. And on to the next layer. We can select that layer, add the layer mask, bring back the ones that we need. There's going to be some overlapping again, which is going to make it a little trickier, but that's okay. So I'm going to change my brush size, try to get in close, and then zoom in back to my brush. And if you don't have any overlapping in your photo, then you won't have to worry about this. But adding overlapping things will help to add depth and make it more interesting. So I would encourage you to have overlapping things, but it does add a little bit of complication. All right, I'm not going to be too picky about this. Try to do it quickly. All right, good enough for now. And go up to the next layer, turn it on, layer mask, big size brush. There we go. Oh, I'm screwed up a little part there, but that's okay. Okay, final layer, visibility. It's going to be some overlapping again. To come back for that part. Oh, I lost myself over here. Must have missed it on a layer below. There it is. Go back to the top layer. Okay, and mask away this part. Okay, and I'm done. You can see that there's some color changes here, and that's just because the camera was on an automatic setting and it would adjust itself a little bit each time. So I could go through and touch that up or zoom in and get some of the details that I missed, but that is the basics.